Dr. Todd here, and a couple of upkeep things before we start talking with our next performer. I participated in my first open mic magic event. It was at the El Rey in Arlington. It was an awesome time, and I submit that that is the first thing you should try. Get out there if you haven't performed before. Just get out there and do it. I had 10 minutes. That was enough for about two magic tricks. And that is a great place to try material, see what works, what doesn't. The audience was super, super nice. And a lot of people there had not actually been to a magic show before. I really enjoyed watching the other performers, seeing what worked, what didn't, and getting to enjoy magic live is a lot different than watching it on television or on the internet because you actually, you only get one chance to see the effect. And I went with my brother-in-law who knows a little bit of magic, but it was really cool to experience it through his eyes. So I definitely think you should go out there and sign up. You can also do an open mic comedy event if you have like some funnier material. Go as a comedy magician. Usually get about 3 minutes, and then just do like a trick that's got some comedy to it, and just get out there and do it. And that's the best way to get over stage fright. Anyways, just sign up and do it. The next thing is Carissa Hendricks is starting her Lucy Darling tour on the 17th of February. So that will be, for me, it'll be 2 days from now, depending on when you hear this. I will say that it is one of the best live shows I have ever seen. And I've been to Cirque du Soleil, I've been to Broadway, I've seen live magic and live acting, and it was just the best variety show. Her stage presence is amazing. Her improv skills are one of a kind. It was really something. You will not regret it. Get tickets because they go fast. She's going to be all over the country. So you should be able to find something that you can get to. So go ahead and definitely see that. The last thing is, I just saw that there is a federal civil lawsuit filed against Penguin Magic and Craig Petty, among other people, by Masika Magic and Igal Masika. The complaint alleges assault, libel, and slander. It really comes from a podcast that Craig Petty and Penguin Magic did. And that was on July 24th. Craig Petty has publicly addressed the litigation in a recent video posted to his Magic TV channel. I definitely should watch that. He basically saying the suit is an attempt to penalize him for expressing criticism of certain behaviors within the magical community and raising concerns about whether such legal threats chill free speech. So when I watched the videos, the original on Penguin Magic and Craig Petty's videos, it did seem like he made it very clear that this was just his opinion. It does seem to be in the realm of free speech, but I implore you to watch yourself and take a look, because all of this is really important for our ability to basically review magic and give our opinions. And if we don't protect our ability of free speech, then we'll find that it's pretty soon it'll be gone. So check that out. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. If you're an adult, you should be able to take a little bit of criticism. That's just my take on it. So go ahead and check it out. Let me know what you think about that. So last year, it was about meeting magicians, learning about magic myself, getting into it, getting more involved. This year, I want to get more into the nitty gritty of it and perform more, encourage you to perform more, and get into what makes some magicians more successful than others. So I wanted to talk to this magician called Cuckoo Magic, and he is a tremendously kind person. And when I first saw him, he immediately reminded me of Sylvester the Jester. He was an American magician, and he basically was playing a cartoon character that came to life. Now, Sylvester the Jester is no longer with us, but this is the spiritual heir to the human cartoon character. And not only is he fantastic at it, but he also has the blessing of Sylvester the Jester's friends. And it's really interesting and amazing to see someone carry that legacy on. He does a great job, and he's gone viral multiple times. So he was nice enough to sit down with us and chat. So here is the chat from us talking with Sylvester the Jester. So make sure you subscribe, comment in the comments, and let me know what you think. And we'll get right into it.
Professional magicians who fully lean into character are a rare breed.
and today's guest is all in. Today on Magician's Workshop, we have Cuckoo, the cartoon magician. He performs like a living cartoon, blending bold visuals, exaggerated movement, and strong magic into shows designed for kids, but appreciated by magicians. Cuckoo has built a brand around joyful chaos and controlled mayhem. Today we're talking character development, kid show structure, and why silly is often the most technically demanding lane in magic. My name is Dr. Todd, and yes, I was the one that framed Roger Rabbit. And welcome Cuckoo, the cartoon magician, to the show.
What's up, Todd? Ain't I a stinker?
Yeah, you can describe to the listeners what's visually happening.
He just pulled his tongue out all the way to his belly button and then shoved it back in. That was great. He pulled his eyes out. And God, no, that's awful.
Should I put my clothes back on?
Yeah, please do. No,
Okay,
actually, you can leave it on. There's no rules.
Okay, good. Just my socks. I'll just wear
Just
my
your socks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep it professional.
Chili pepper style, if you know what I'm.
I do. I
good.
am a child of the 90s. I was.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. It seems like you and I are kind of. I don't know. You look younger than to know all of these like references to chili peppers and all that stuff. So where'd that come from?
Wait till I start to talk about George G. Jessel and Swain's Rats and Cats. They did a vaudeville act in the 1980s. And you see, Swain's Rats and Cats was a vaudeville act. Vaudeville was a type of theater. Theater was a place where people would sit in chairs and look at a stage. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do my Gilbert Gottfried's. You used to do this impression of elderly Groucho Marx.
My God, I just got that. Yeah. Yeah, that's Gilbert Gottfried does not get the credit that he deserves for how funny his stand-up act was. Like, I think a lot of people see him as Iago in the characters, but he was really funny.
Unfortunately, I don't have it prepared, but I have a magic trick where I have literally Gilbert Gottfried did the voiceover for me. I used Cameo, and I gave him a script. And since this is a magician's podcast, I'll just show the nuts and bolts of the whole thing, which is basically just a card force where I have a big jumbo card. You know how Jason Bainey makes the Cardnetics? Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying. I'm still new.
Yeah.
So
maybe some of the listeners know what I'm talking about, and you're learning now. But Jason Bainey will he takes these playing cards and he cuts the insides out, and he makes like these mechanical puppets made out of cards, and all the pieces are just made from cut up playing cards. So there's one playing card where I turn it around and it's not the 3 of clubs, it's like the Jack of spades. And after I force the 3 of clubs, I say, does this mean anything to you? And then they go, no. And then suddenly the Jack of spades mouth opens and it's Gilbert. The scream I didn't have him do on Cameo. I took it from the Problem Child, but he's like, nice. Like that scream that he does, and then he goes on to say, it's Gilbert Gottfried, and he lists all his credits, and then he says, but your card actually is the... And he also goes like, but today I'm the Jack of spades and Cuckoo, the cartoon magician's magic trick. But your card is not the Jack of spades. And then he says the card.
That's fantastic. That's what a great use of Cameo. I would never even thought about that.
And then he died the next year after, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, save that video.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's art. That's high art.
Only hopefully that podcast that those comedians, remember the one that I'll be doing next month? Hopefully they don't see this before I go on their podcast. But I figure I never perform this trick. I never perform it because it's lost on the kids, and then it's a really niche thing for the adults. But I feel like audience of stand-up comedians is the audience that like they're the ones that are going to appreciate it. So
yeah, tell me about this. Okay, so I don't know much about. I didn't get a chance to look at the podcast that you're going on, and are you physically going on it?
So they'd like me to, but they've agreed to just zoom in like this.
Okay, tell me about that because it seems like your social media is kind of starting to blow up. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels because of the ebbs and flows. It always feels like if I say it's blowing up, I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
But basically a year ago, we can actually we can reverse engineer this into the broader story eventually.
Yeah.
A year ago, because we haven't even talked about Sylvester the Jester or any of that.
We literally haven't. Okay,
this opens that up though.
I'll edit it back in, but it's all
okay. Good. Sure. About a year, like maybe a year ago, October, it was after I had gotten a blessing to perform, like a universal blessing, just perform anything. Like, let's keep Dan Sylvester's memory alive, from his best friend, Tom Frank. And they go back to like when they were both 15 years old. He's his oldest friend in magic. And I had made, like many years ago, like almost 15 years ago, I actually made a whole cartoon act that I kind of canned. I was going to kind of go full cartoon approach where it wasn't a magic show. It was a cartoon show. And I had made certain tricks that I just kind of buried, certain things I kept around, but I made it more like focused on my parlor show all that time. I'm kind of working the background story in just organically. It's just happening.
Throw it in.
I can't control my mind or my mouth. They just
this works so well for your style. Just it's chaotic. Just go for it. We'll circle back to it at some point. I have questions. It doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Right. Yeah, we can fill in the gaps with the questions at the end.
Exactly.
So yeah, so basically I just went on because basically or very early on I had someone say like, "Hey, I'm pitching this." They already wanted to work with me in person for like these assembly shows, and they're like, "I'm pitching to Disney. There might be a show." And then I'm like, "Oh well, if I'm going to go on television, I need to talk to someone about this, like some advice." And they connected me with someone who's respected in the area, and he just said, "You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't stretch your tongue, you can't make a sound, you can't pop out your eyeballs, you can't do any of it." I had a powder rig that made smoke come out, can't make the smoke come out, none of that stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, well, I kind of want to get Dan Sylvester's opinion on this, but I'm also very green right now." So basically what ended up happening was I was like, I want to get good at this, and then I want to get the blessing rather than say like, "Hi, I'm really bad at what you do, but could I do it poorly?" Because who wants to say yes to that?
Your voice is dead on.
I don't even know what I'm just talking.
I'm saying you're when you go into cartoon mode, it is legit like it's a switch, and
I'm just being a goofball. I don't even know what I'm doing. But yeah, so basically I dialed it back, kind of worked on certain things just behind the scenes for myself, and focused more. I mean, I still was cuckoo, and I still did the sound effects, but like for instance, I made a really bad version of the frying pan, which really bad. I don't know, in air quotes, but compared to what it is now, I took it to a much better place. But once I got that blessing, instead of having it just be like a flat picture, I wanted to make it like shaped like the depth of the pane, and I worked all this stuff out. And I put a mouth plate on it so that like the whole head would like kind of wobble after the thing came off. I really it was actually made from an image I took when I was like a young man, because that's how early I started it. But because it's so mutilated, it doesn't matter,
That's a great bit. When people see it, that's one of the main ones you'll see when you go to your Instagram. It's so good. It's such a good bit.
And for a good reason, it's because it went viral. And the reason it went viral is because I was the only one that knew I had this blessing. So people, I mean, for some reason, this particular post of it, because I mean, I had posted it before and it didn't blow up quite like this, but this was like, not quite 9 million views, but like 8+ million views at this point. But basically some magicians were like, "You can't do this." And they were sharing it around and saying like, "The whole magic community is going to destroy you. You're going to regret the day."
I mean,
I'm like, I have the blessing. This is totally okay.
But isn't that like saying that no one's allowed to do metamorphosis if you're not a Pendragon? I mean, you're not, and we'll talk more about Sylvester Jester and his like, thing on the his impact on the community, but it's not like nobody else is allowed to be a cartoon,
right. Well,
a living
what
cartoon.
I will say is the way Tom Frank, Danny's friend, even praised it, is said like, you don't need the blessing, but you have the blessing. Like you are like,
that's awesome.
Tom said about himself that he's the one who holds the torch and he's passing it to me, and he just finds it heartwarming that this can even still continue, because I told him like, "You changed my life," and he's like, "You changed my life." I thought like I wasn't going to see any of this stuff that my best friend would do, and now it's like there's a piece of him that is still out there.
That's amazing. Actually, when I saw you, I was like, "Oh, this is some great Sylvester the Jester." Like this, it reminded me. I was like, "I love this," because of that, and knowing that it's just, and then that was your knowing that you even have the blessing to do that is even crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would love you to do it no matter what, but it's even cooler that you're like, "Oh, this is official." I love that. Well, let's start at the beginning. What got you into magic in the first place?
Okay. I have to be careful giving my backstory because on other podcasts, I've taken up the whole podcast just became the story. So I'm going to try to, hone it down a little bit. Because as a kid, I did own some magic kits, but I definitely was not. In fact, when I'd see another person that was into magic, I was like, oh, they like magic. Good for them. It was like that even. Like, do you know Jacob Jacks? He's like
Yes.
yeah. So Jacob Jacks and I went to the same school.
Wow.
In like he was a little younger than me, but like he was like out there doing card tricks and stuff. I'm like, oh, that guy does card tricks. Okay. It wasn't like something I related to, is what I'm saying. But I was into drawing cartoons and like these weird creatures with their tongues, like Rat Fink style, like eyeballs and tongues.
I
and
love
all this
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
And that was like my thing. I mean, but even earlier than that, I'd say performance was what I was interested in general. I was really like Jim Carrey and Robin Williams were like, as a child, my two, I guess there's more than two in Mount Rushmore, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were like the monoliths in like,
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
yeah.
Yeah. Just say you go for a magic show.
But I was like, oh, like Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, all this stuff. I'm like, that's so awesome. Only one guy can do it, and he's there doing it. So it's kind of like my first thing where it's like, I wish I could do it, but I didn't even realize that you could have like a small business in show business. I thought you had to like be one of
if you're not Jim Carrey or nothing.
Right, exactly. Which is kind of like how the public views entertainment still.
No, that's absolutely true. Yeah, gatekeeping.
Right. Well, no, I just mean like someone that's not in show business and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry you're not successful because you're not like an A-list celebrity. So if you're not an A-list celebrity, you're not successful.
Yeah, you're not. If you're not making $40 million a movie, like,
right, and you have to be world famous.
What are you doing out here?
Yeah, you have to be a household name in order for like that's where the bar is set for show business. Like to own a chain of stores, no one needs to know who you are, and you're successful already. But you get the idea. But yes, so to connect the dots on all that is I still am very ADD.
You don't say. Welcome to the club, buddy.
But I was very much like, there's a reason that I'm not a dentist. Like I was telling you before we went on mic, my own father's a dentist. Maybe if I were like a more, regimented, focused person, I would just follow in his footsteps and I'd have a really secure.
No, I did that. I did that. My dad's a dentist. I did that. Don't do that. Yeah, don't.
But
it's not great up here.
Well, this is what it was like though. Cause like, I was actually not a bad student. I was, kind of smart, but as far as like I would get all the awards for art in school and everything else. I would kind of phone it in. Like I would like, read the first sentence and last sentence of every paragraph in a book and go, and then after a while, I'm like, okay, first sentence of the page and last sentence of the page. And then I'm like, this is like the day that the essays due. And then I'd write it that morning and then I get a B.
That's awesome.
And honestly, I think that if I were, a more responsible student, I probably would have gotten A's, but it's just not where I need to be enjoying it, I guess.
100%. That's universal for people with our affliction. I'm just like autistic in a different way. So
autistic or artistic.
No, like, yeah, like I'm autistic. You're artistic.
Oh, okay. Or both.
Yeah, a little touch of the tism, just enough that I can sit here and drill little teeny things and be like, "This is fun. I'm good. I love this. This is good."
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, art school is full of people that had that, like some of their craft. Like, I'm not a craftsman either. I'm like big broad strokes.
I don't know. I've seen your stuff. It looks pretty.
When I create a visual thing, I do it well the first time. That, like, for instance, this is why I didn't. Well, there's several. I was about to tell you why I didn't become an animator, but one of them is because also like the grind of creating the same image with the same quality. Like I can create one good drawing, but like I couldn't do it for a client.
Totally. Okay.
I can only do it for myself. I couldn't, all these other reasons. But basically, I should go back to my thread of my story. So I graduate from high school. As I'm graduating, I'm looking at colleges and I'm looking at ones that are not art schools, and I'm looking at the other students and the way their social, like the way that they socialize. And I'm like, I don't see myself here. This is not happening. So I'm like, I'm going to an art school. And I went to Tyler School of Art with my portfolio because I actually went to like a portfolio arts program where you do sketches of nudes and still lifes and stuff. And I brought this stuff in, and they're like, they were seeing things that were not there. They were like, wow. They thought it was so much deeper than it was. There was like maybe a light behind this lady, and they thought that it was like a halo that I had put in. Like, this is so deep, and you're in. I'm like, really? I draw these crazy cartoon characters. My girlfriend's out in the car. She has a purse that I drew all these characters on. Let me bring it in. They're like, no, don't show us. I'm like, okay. Like, don't make us change our minds.
Don't ruin it for it.
And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm like, you know what? I'm in an art school. I'm done going visiting colleges now. And then during my first year there, I learned there's no illustration program. There's no animation program. There's nothing at this school that resembles my passion, but there was a sculpture program.
Okay.
And Tyler School of Art is a very conceptual art school. So sculpture doesn't mean like chiseling stone or making things out of clay. It means like performance art and robots and all this crazy stuff.
Cool. Okay.
So I leaned right into it, and I did all these crazy. I learned physical computing with, switches and motors and sensors and all this stuff. And, I did really weird performance art stuff. And then while I was there, kind of in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, now I need to learn by the time I graduate how to make something commercial out of this. And I think I don't know where to draw the line as to like how I ended up as a lurker on the Magic Cafe forums, or I'm not sure how any of that happened. But by the time I had graduated, I was like working at and I'm also skipping over the fact that my wife wanted to be a clown. So she was like my fiance at the time, and she took me
that's awesome.
We went on a trip around the US, and we went to Priscilla Mooseburger's Moose Burger Camp in Minnesota. It's like a clown camp.
Got it.
So she did like a week intensive there, and I was just in the motel room, and she like come back at the end and show me like her little tricks she learned. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then so like really she was getting that education even at that time. It was like during summer while I was still in school. But by the time I graduated, I was working in the mall because she got a job at an art gallery in the mall, and I'm like, we only had one car, and we were staying in my parents' basement, and we're like, you need to get a job in the mall so we can drive there and we can both make money and then come back. So I started working at a kiosk that sells keys. So I would be there. It has a computer, and I'd be on the Magic Cafe forum studying like, tips about building shows and, how to make your jumping stool jump higher, whatever it is, all these little things.
Awesome.
People, and while I was there, people would come, people act around kiosk people. They want to like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
They do like don't make eye contact, that kind of thing. So there was a new store opened up in the mall that I had never heard of called Five Below. And I found the Dollar Snatchers. So I'd say the Dollar Snatcher was a big early one for me. I think, man, the timeline is so weird for me to try to reconstruct. But at any rate, I was right by an ATM. This kiosk. I know the listeners don't know I'm standing, but I have to act this out for you. Sorry. Standing.
This will be on YouTube with videos. So don't.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah. Oh, hi there. Are you just happy to see me?
Oh, sorry, just gotta zip that up. Yeah. So I'd be standing. People would be using the ATM, and I'd be like, oh, what? Now to get an interaction, I drop $1 on the floor, and I'd say, oh, after they use the ATM, oh, is that yours? And they say, oh, yes, it is. And then I go, zip up to my hand and be like, no, it's not. And I would like force an interaction with them. And, I had like I'm not sure whether you call them delights or delights. I heard.
Yeah. Delights. Yeah.
But we had a key that had a red light on it. And I do the thing where I pull the light on and off. And
that's pretty good.
Just all these things. So that's when it got me there. And then from there, Toys R Us wanted me to be a toy-gician for them because they were opening a kiosk right next to it. I made up the term toy-gician.
I was really hoping that was canon.
No.
When was Cuckoo born?
Okay, so in the mall.
Its current form. Okay.
This is good, actually. In the mall, Cuckoo used to have a red shirt and a black tie. No, yes, yeah, that's right. And in the mall at the kiosk, I first had a black shirt and a gold tie because the key stop had a black shirt. And then Toys R Us had this red dress code, and it became a red shirt, and I switched it to a black tie. which now it's a checker tie because I've been. We can get into that later. But and one of these hit toys. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Maybe I'll get a cease and desist. Was these cuckoo birds? So there's these birds that you squeeze it, and an egg comes out the bottom.
Cool. Okay.
It's hanging on a string. You crack the egg open. There's some kind of thing in there, and it makes this noise. And I think these toys still exist, and they are spelled KOO. But yeah, that's I think where I got the
It's
name.
as legally distinct. You're a human. That's a bird.
Right. Well, those are cuckoo birds. This is Cuckoo the cartoon magician.
Yeah. I don't
And
think you can,
funnily
yeah.
enough, Cuckoo, I didn't even think about this then, but I was like kind of like, Cuckoo, there's Boo Boo.
Yogi, what about the ranger?
And then at the time I didn't even think about it, but the early Fleischer cartoons, the Fleischer Studios, Betty Boop,
Yes.
Popeye,
Yeah.
is Coco, the clown.
Wow. Okay.
So Max Fleischer, just to give a little history on animation, a little segue here, invented rotoscope, which is basically tracing images. He made like a whole machine where you would film something live and then it would put the frames into a thing where you could trace it and do hand-drawn versions of each of the filmed frame. So Coco, the clown, is actually Max Fleischer's brother, dancing around in a clown suit. And that's the origins. It's like one of the very early cartoon characters that ever existed.
Wow.
So it's kind of a happy accident because at the time I wasn't thinking about it, but it's kind of a nice little connection there.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're very much character driven in your act. I guess your kid show act. Is it for your parlor act? Is it also Cuckoo is its own thing? It's like
People
this is the character.
People ask, do you do adult shows? And I say, yes, but I'm going to show up. I'm going to make, noises.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bug my eyes out of my head. I'm going to stretch my tongue and you're going to be calling me Cuckoo. But, I also, for instance, do, sleight of hand that's taken me many years to master. I'm sure, actually, speaking of Sylvester the Jester, we should talk about the connection with the...
I'd love to do that.
But I'll show you, this is probably not going to make it to the audio version of the show, but man, I really got to back up. Let me see.
Well, then everyone should watch the YouTube version because it's awesome.
I know what to do here. I'm going to go to, because I have my OBS here. Let me see here.
All good.
Just do it. Let's see if it does it. Oh, it doesn't do it. Never mind. Okay. But at any rate, if I can squat down low enough to just give you a little demonstration of, he would do the coin stuff where you reach out and you pluck. It's like the miser's dream, but without a bucket. You can just reach up and pluck the coins out in there. And it's very hard to do while squatting like this. But I'm going to do it for you. You're worth it. And then some people think he is two. Well, they're right. There's a second one right over here. But I don't stop at two. I stop at nothing. They keep coming. You're actually going to hear the next one. Listen. You hear that? It's because there's actually a couple of them right there. But I'll be honest, there's more than a couple of them. Come on, just another and another and another and another and another. Look at that. Another one right there. That's called close-up magic for obvious reasons. If I were greedy, I would reach up into the air and I'd grab a whole handful.
Holy moly.
Just like that. Wouldn't that be cool if I could do that? I will admit that. That would be really very cool. I'll let you know if I ever do.
Oh my God. That's so good.
And it just keeps going because you've seen things that look like these, they're coins, but there's a penny saved is a penny earned. Don't blink because it looks precisely like this.
Oh my God, that was so clean.
I don't like the penny. I prefer the big old dime. So that's some of the stuff.
Yeah, that's so good.
Basically, I'm like, if I'm going to follow in his footsteps, I'm going to actually dedicate myself to the skills. And he created that move. That is, Dan Sylvester created that coin move where you can produce anything. It's not really just a coin move. He produces eggplants.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Okay. So that's something I'm working on is trying to get, because he, when Sylvester the Jester did a Penguin lecture, they took the instructional video for this move down. So that, I guess it was just to kind of channel all the interest into that one place. But since then, all the pieces have kind of come undone, and now this isn't available for people to learn anymore. So that's one of my goals, is to make it available for people again.
Call Vanishing Ink when you get a chance.
That's right. That's your people.
There's my people. It's just like, they're great. They're so great. So what's your connection to Sylvester the Jester? Now, think of it like if most of the people that listen to this probably going to know who that is. Mm-hmm. But imagine that you don't. How would you describe this this magician to people?
He is the OG human cartoon. He actually, well, I should credit where credit's due. You know, he's the one who invented the eyeballs that pop out of your head, the coin stuff I was just showing you, which is not cartoon, but yeah, you got to put that
It's
in
still
there.
incredible. Like,
he
it's
invented
good.
the appearing pole. In case you
No,
don't know.
he invented the appearing
Yes,
pole.
yeah, he invented the appearing pole.
Holy moly!
I mean, he's a genius. He's a literal genius.
Yeah, I mean, well, I remember, and he had a cartoon outfit and cartoon hat, and he had a soundboard built into his chest, so he could activate it by himself while he was on stage.
See if I have my show and tell. I didn't plan on.
No, that's totally fine. Show me. I love this stuff.
You know, another thing that he and I have in common is what our workspace is like, which
It's
is
just a mess.
It's real chaos. Here's a fun fact. He and his wife had separate homes. He had a house that was just insanity. And then there's a house with a wife and kids in it.
That's actually genius. Like, some people just have a workshop. He had a workshop house.
Yeah,
That's insane. All
well,
right.
This place, when we bought our next house, my wife was like, we need to get you a garage for a studio. We need an office in the house. We need you to not. I still bleed into the house sometimes, but at our old house, it was getting out of control. So we're drawing these lines, and I only leak over a little bit here and there. But yeah, if I were to list more, mental floss, he invented that.
I've seen him do that. He's the only person I've actually seen do that.
Well, it became
originally.
I
haven't seen anyone else do that.
It became like a thing you could buy in stores. In fact, when I was a kid, I remember in elementary school, a friend of mine had a shirt that said mental floss, and it had a guy with a string like this. I didn't even know who Sylvester the Jester was yet, but that was already a thing. I am working on making some of these effects built into props, because a big distinction between what he was doing and where I'm taking it is I'm kind of also drawing a little influence from like the Trigg Watson school of magic, which is the interaction with the screen and stuff like that. So unlike Trigg, I'm doing it with full animation, where I'm actually working with my animator, who I should plug, Etta Lucero.
Yes.
He's not available to animate for your magic act, because I want to become a little bit more established. Yeah,
100%.
For now.
100%.
I mean, once I become established and everyone, kind of knows that anyone else doing it is also doing what I'm doing, I just don't want to,
No, you have to wait till you sell it, and then you can
don't want to burn the whole thing.
Absolutely.
But regardless, so because I have like these motifs where I end up going behind a screen, it gives me the opportunity to bring props into play where I can actually be doing things behind that screen.
So freedom.
I could have this rig. It doesn't have to be in my clothing, and through, he actually had like a plastic wig, and it was like going through in his head, over his ears. I plan on having a different hat where it's on the outside, and this is all protecting me. So that's
perfect.
The goal.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, he was geared up. I mean, everything he needed. He almost could perform in the round almost, because I mean, like, he was just everything he had everything.
He did do strolling. He did do strolling as well, and certainly in those circumstances he could. I think when he would do the flat face, which by the way his wasn't a frying pan, ironically, although his was a 2-phase one, because what do they call it? It's not actually a cloche. Whatever they call the fancy tray where you present food.
Well, the cloche is the thing on top.
I think I learned.
It is a cloche.
I think I learned
it's different?
Well, there are 2 words I came up with.
Okay.
When I was trying to make a little history segment about it. And the one I said on screen was actually more of a soup thing.
Okay.
And whether that was the cloche or the other one, I'm not sure. Hey, cloche for no sugar. That's what I always say.
The trolls are going to get you.
But at any rate, his was a 2-phaser where, the lady came out and it was a ham and eggs, green eggs and ham thing. And so first he's like saying, I'm not going to eat that. And she puts the lid on his head and hits it, and then pulls it off, and it's like a bell-shaped head.
That's okay.
And then they heal that, and he's like, actually, I do want that. And they're fighting over the bottom tray, and then he does the flattened face. Which his actually is pretty cool because it's green eggs and ham. He has the eggs on the eyes, and then they fall off. Good. Yeah.
You get some crazy reactions to your pan face. I mean, I guess I do want to get more questions about kid show stuff, but Um, what I have to abandon some of these questions because you kind of go through it already, a lot of them. But like when you're creating magic for kid shows, or just when you're creating magic with kids in mind, what kind of magic works best for kids? Because a lot of the stuff that I've seen is it's magic, but it's also like it's gags, and there's a lot of physical humor, and you're very expressive. But magic wise, what kind of magic tricks would you say that work best for kid shows?
Well, hopefully I'm not stating the obvious I mean, I guess maybe I'm just assuming it's the obvious.
You have to assume. You have
Right, right,
me.
right.
Just don't assume.
Because Look, Don't See is a whole kid show. If you're just doing Look, Don't See, which if you're not, or if anyone's not familiar, is like the kids are seeing things happening that you're not, and they have to yell at you.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you
Yes.
just want to
Yeah. Awesome.
keep hitting that, and that's gonna get the energy up. You know, you can do a whole show. I've had people comment when they see my kids show who aren't kids, and they're like, "You just did like 15 minutes with a stiff rope."
So like less is more, right? I mean, you can really drag those out when you
It's
when you
more
do
just
that.
like, yeah, because if you keep amping them up higher and higher, it's not like you're dragging it out. It's that you're milking it, you know? So I even tell people like, let me know if you need the show to end at a certain time, and I'll run it
Because
a certain
otherwise you could
way.
keep going.
Yeah, because then also this is kind of something I've honed doing strolling magic. Because for about, I don't know, 10 years straight, I performed in restaurants almost 5 nights a week, sometimes certain periods. And at every single table, I come up and I ask people their names, and I do a bit. Every time they say a name, I have some kind of response to elicit laughter. So whether it's a pun or some kind of, it's just really free form. But it's like when I get to a group of like 25 people, I do it. I go boom, boom, boom. And I with each name, I have something to say, and I keep this rhythm going. And it doesn't, the name game is just kind of how I work the muscle. But in these shows, I allow things to happen, and I allow responses. And if I find some kind of shtick that didn't exist before, I might lean into it. And if there isn't a time crunch, I will it's just about play, I guess, is really what it comes down to, is being able to, kids like to play. And
Hmm.
if you play with them, it's going to be a good show.
Do you find that how important is story to a kid show, as opposed to just bits together?
I don't have any story.
Perfect. That's the answer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, hey, you can get away with it at the very least.
Yeah.
Maybe it is important, but it's something that I don't really like. I don't do storytelling with it. That's for sure. I mean, here's the thing. I don't do a narrative storytelling. I mean, I'm up there. There is the story of me trying to do the trick, and then my hand gets caught in a mousetrap, and then I have to bandage it up, and then I blow on my hand, and my finger shoots off my hand. I'm, "Ah." You know, this is kind of a story that's
No,
happening.
it's I think your previous answer is actually wrong. I think you are telling a
Yeah,
story. You're
yeah,
telling the
yeah,
story
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
it's basically a lot of the plot seems like things go wrong, magician
Mhm.
in trouble plot,
Right.
which is I don't think of, when you say it, it's like that is the funniest thing for a kid, is for
Mhm.
the adult to mess up, like,
Right,
and
right,
just,
right.
or not realize something so obvious. Like your drawing board with the face
Mm.
on it. I've
Mhm.
seen I've seen the dry erase board version. I have
Mhm.
it over there. Is that similar in the way that works, or is it something you built
Oh,
custom?
well, I have made my own version that has a kicker ending that I don't want to talk about too much yet,
Don't
because
don't talk
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But the non-rebuilt version, it's actually based off of Sean Begunia's drawing pad. It's called Notepad Surprise, and he's got the large version, a small retired his studio, but I think you can still like hit him up and ask for it. Sorry, Sean, if that's annoying.
I mean, honestly, that's a great prop. I
But
mean,
he's the
I
ultimate dancing Hank guy. If you know, like the hanky that dances inside the jar and then it flies around the room and all
yes.
that stuff. He's that guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
what's
serious.
nice about his trick, this is, most magicians don't even realize this, because it's not actually that widely performed, this notepad drawing. Most people do the dry erase. They
Mhm.
assume it's like the cardiograph. What was his name? Martin Lewis. Martin Lewis's cardiograph, where you draw the deck and then the card rises out.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Whoa, your tear off seems so clean." I'm like, "It's because it really is the same drawing. It's I actually am handing out the drawing. It's not like a duplicate or something.
That's awesome.
It's a really cool method." Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. That surprised me. I was like, there's so much mileage that you get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come up with, I guess in magic, is there, I don't know if there's ever a new idea, but how do you come up with an idea and then build it? I know that's a kind of an open-ended question, but where do you get inspiration?
A lot of it is like a shocking lightning bolt in my head. But of course, I look to cartoons, for inspiration. And then sometimes I've come up with something and I go back and I find the cartoons that have it. And I'm like, I didn't even know like I just came up with this. It's not in the show or anything yet, but a big fly swatter hits me in the face and my eyeballs pop out through the top.
Yeah. It's cool.
And
that's cool.
eventually I want to add like party blowers, like yellow ones that go out in every direction. So it's like, like a splat and the eyeballs and the lines come out. But then I'm like, oh, there's all these instances of cartoons getting hit in the face with these fly swatters. I didn't remember seeing them ever. But also that's another thing is that like, as a kid, it's like amazing how the things you see, you don't even remember that you saw them necessarily. But they become a part of your psyche, Like for instance, actually, I should tell you, you didn't even ask this question, but
Those are the best questions to answer.
yeah, it just came like a lightning bolt, this question.
It's working. We're seeing it in real time.
Yes, it's happening. Like the voices, like who are the voices, like my inspirations, because for instance, I don't think perform like Sylvester the Jester. I think I do effects like him, but my character's not really like him. To me, well, my comedy, I remember I mentioned as a kid, it was Jim Carrey and
Jim
Robin
Carrey.
Williams.
I see it now that you
But
say that.
the Marx Brothers, Groucho, Harpo, and Chico. But the voices in my head are almost an amalgam. This is a weird combination. And I don't sound like them. But this is like, I've heard voice actors say like a bad impression is a new character.
Okay.
I've heard like
That's
Rob
good.
Paulson, who plays Yakko and Animaniacs and Pinky, say that. And
Love him.
Jim Cummings, who plays, I can't do Winnie the Pooh right now. I don't have the right.
I can't. I want to so bad.
Bother, Christopher Robin. No, that was terrible. Cut that.
I don't know, Brain.
Yeah.
He
But
got
is-
brain.
I don't know, Brain. Isn't a pickle that small called a gherkin?
Pippi Longstocking and me. What would the children look like?
But they say, yeah, a bad impersonation could be a new character.
Yeah.
So in my head is Pee Wee Herman, Gilbert Gottfried, and Ernest.
My God, yes.
Which I think a lot of people actually do comment about Ernest all the time.
Bob, how to burn, when will you learn? Hey, Woody.
You mean the greatest character actor of all time? And
Exactly.
like Ernest Scared Stupid. Still, like how that didn't win an Oscar, I don't know. And Ernest Goes to Camp. I've seen Ernest Goes to Camp about 50 times. To this day, if somebody comes at me with a rifle, I'll put my finger right in that barrel. Oh, and So Happy Together, by the Turtles. I'm like,
right.
You can't.
As the turtles are all come parachuting. If you haven't seen
God,
it yet.
that's so good. Sorry, you just unlocked a core memory right there.
But when they're walking through the woods and the campers are with him, he's like, I can't do it. He does like actually a pretty good Porky Pig when he's like, never do this to a badger. He's like, hippie. But when he goes, remember, the moss always grows on the outside of the tree. And the kids are like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like the north side of the tree or whatever it is.
So
He's like,
good.
It always grows on the outside of the tree.
But yeah, watch Ernest Goes to School if you haven't.
What? There's
that
like, must be one. That must be a later one.
Right, exactly. Because the first 4 were Disney films.
Okay.
And then after that, they had to do them on their own.
Okay. It's probably a lower budget.
Well, yeah, I'd say Slam Dunk Ernest and Ernest Goes to School are very good. Skip Ernest Goes to Africa. Some of that doesn't age well. And he does like an Indian character impersonation that's like, I mean, once again, it's like watching The Simpsons,
Yeah, you got,
it's of its time. It's of its time.
Yeah, it's of its time. Yeah.
But, and he's just brilliant. He's a brilliant performer. But he does this is a non sequitur. Forgive me.
I love non sequiturs. It's my favorite.
But he has this brain accelerator. So he's in the school. He's a janitor at the school. And they're like, all staff must be a high school graduate or they're fired. It's like these people come in and say this. And he's like, well, everyone is a high school graduate. And he's like, not Ernest, he's like the janitor. And he has to go back to school, to high school. And in the lockers, there's like a locker that opens up. There's a hole in the back. And the school science teachers have made this laboratory in there. So do you remember Chuck and Bobby from Ernest? So
Yes.
yeah. So Chuck wasn't available. So it's like a lady doing like a German accent and Bobby, and they're the scientists. And he's like, Ernest, try our brain accelerator and you can be our guinea pig. And they put him in this thing like, and it comes out and he's like, oh, hello, my good man. He like becomes like the Aster Clement, like highfalutin character. And he goes to the lunchroom in the cafeteria and he's like, my good man, do you have any sauce béarnaise for this meatloaf ordinaire? And the guy's like, and he's like, I'm trying to remember the lines here. Picante salsa? He's like, I forget the other ingredient, but he goes through this list of like being like really, and then the guy's like, we have ketchup. That's what I like to eat it with. And he goes, I bet you do. It was just like the funniest line in the whole movie to me. I don't know why it struck me so hard.
It's so good.
I'm probably not even doing justice to it. Like you got to see him do it.
I'm introducing my kids to all the Ernest movies.
Oh, you got it.
That's what we're doing because we need to give them culture.
Just everything except for Army and Africa, and you're good.
Yeah, I'll skip those. All right, I'll skip the Army one too. All right, let's back to questions.
Oh yeah. Wait, is there a podcast happening?
Yeah, no, not really.
Okay.
We're just hanging. Okay. Looking back, what's something early on that you're doing that you would have changed?
You know what? I'll tell you though. You asked about this, kind of circles back to a question I already had about like how I found my voice, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do like just kind of like a goofy voice, like not Goofy the character, but just like there wasn't like a real authentic. It took me a long time to actually. I mean, I don't know how to tell my younger self, hey, just find your voice. But I think a lot of it was like I didn't put myself into it that much. I was kind of like this character.
Right.
But I think eventually I was like, no, just lean into like put your own stank into it, like whatever makes you funny, put that in there and just deliver the lines. And that way it also helps because then it's easier to improvise if you're using your own voice. Like actually just today, I was brought into, I'd never heard of I guess it's not a fundraiser, but it's like these schools had to do these Christmas spirit things and they had to do like these traditional things and they become eligible to win something if they check off all the boxes and do all these things. So the thing they had today was the Lord of Misrule. So it's this tradition from the 70s. I know this is answering your question. This is getting right to the point.
This is way better than my question. Lord of Misrule.
The Lord of Misrule is this person who will come in to the workspace and just disrupt everything, and so I decided to come in kind of like the voice that I do for my drawing pad. It's Ed Wynn is the voice. Ever watched Mary Poppins when they're like, I love to laugh loud and strong and clear.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
So I was doing that voice. I was like, where's my kazoo?
Of course you have a kazoo.
Here we go. So I come into the room, I go, introducing the Lord of Misrule. And then I run out, and then I run back in, I go, hello, it is I, the Lord of Myth Communication? No. Misconduct? No. The Lord of Misrule. And then I do like all these bits and I'd be the Lord of Misrule. And then I found, my wife was actually there with me filming some of this. I found that in certain bits where I was improvising, like certain moments, I just lost the voice, So what I'm trying to say, all of this is to say is just that, I hope this doesn't hang up. I have to push my headphone into my ear. When it's on my phone.
Still on.
When I'm on the phone, sometimes that hangs up the call. So it makes I'm a little traumatized from previous phone calls I've ended prematurely. But at any rate, yeah. So if you have your true voice behind it, so it's almost like, for instance, actually, this is actually another through line, is that I've heard this both about Gilbert Gottfried and about Danny Sylvester the Jester, is that when they get worked up with an idea that's funny, like in real life, like they're not on stage, they kind of go in, these are the voices they go into.
Okay.
So like Gilbert's voice is put on, kind of,
Yeah, that's
but
not how he
there's
actually sounded.
but there's truth in it. It's like that's his excited voice. Like, oh, 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 oh. Like
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, oh, oh, oh.
like he would actually go into that if he's getting excited about something.
Okay.
And I think it just developed over time. Like, why he squints? Do you know why?
Why did he
It's
squint?
just literally to like not see the audience. He's just like,
My
oh,
God.
he like doesn't want. He's just ignoring the hecklers. He doesn't like shut hecklers down. He just
Powers through, and he keeps punching and talking, and
that's like why Gilbert like squints.
That's brilliant.
And
I'm going to use that.
It's just from the repetition. Yeah, just do it. Your act like that.
Yeah, that's my entire act. I'm not looking at all. Take a look. Sign the card.
Yeah, exactly.
is that your card?
I don't
The
know.
aristocrats.
That's an in joke. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. What advice do you have for magicians who want to do better character work?
Run! No, run away from the business. No, I would say find yourself, because basically that's the other thing, is that I was whitewashing myself because I'm out here in an area that's kind of like middle America. I am half Italian and half Jewish. And I think my voice is half Italian and half Jewish. I
see it now.
I think I'm like Chico Marx, who's actually just Jewish. But
Yeah. One time I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How I got in my pajamas, I'll never know.
That's Groucho Marx. Yeah, exactly.
I know. It's just my favorite line, and I don't do Chico.
Yeah, it is a good one. Yeah.
I do a
I'll
great
never know.
harpo.
I wish I had my horn in reach.
That
right
would have
now.
been perfect timing.
I use it to chase my dog back into the house when she won't come in.
That's
so it's in the
brilliant.
house.
Yeah, that's there you go.
I actually do feel like harpo when I do that.
So,
but yes.
yeah.
So to find the character work. Oh yeah, I was gonna do the. At any rate, whatever. So, quick segue. A little tidbit about So one time a lady said to Groucho, "I think you don't like us because we're Italian," and he said, "Nonsense! My brother Chico's Italian."
That's fantastic.
But yes, back to the podcast. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. This could actually be potentially really extremely helpful for people. What do you think is the most common mistakes magicians make when performing for kids?
I think some people choose to go a route that's like singing songs and bright colors, and I think that I'm not saying they're wrong to do that, but I think there's so much more of it that's not like I connect with kids by screaming at them and showing anger and emotions, and like this is not just for kids even, but like I'll grab someone by the lapel and scream in their face even, which I don't think is what most people do, and I think most people would say that's like something you shouldn't do. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like to really just let loose and find the connections. You'll find new things rather than going off of some kind of playbook about wearing an oversized tie and
Right.
bright suspenders and doing sing-alongs and stuff, because I find myself playing to the entire room. You want to put yourself out there. There's you want to do some writing ahead of time, but throw yourself to the lions and try to connect with the teenager while you're doing the kid show, and like make it feel a little bit dangerous even. I think it's okay. I like a kid show. I want the kids to feel like they're getting away with seeing my show rather than like it's for them kind of thing.
That's clever. Yeah.
And just I want it to feel like basically irreverent.
Yeah, and I like that. I feel like kids, they know when you're patronizing them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's I remember being a kid and being like, yeah, don't talk down to me. Like I'm not I'm 5. I'm not a baby. Okay.
Right.
You don't treat me like that.
Also, now like a kid's like, I know what 6'7" is. You don't even know. They can talk down to us now.
Yeah. God, I hate the internet sometimes. Just for doing stuff like that. All right, last two main questions. If Cuckoo was a cartoon series, what would the first episode be about?
Maybe, I mean, at this point, I think it should be about trying to do a magic show.
I made that question way too easy.
No, but seriously, like, cause like, actually I do, I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but I have an intro, I am working with an animator.
I saw one where you do Yes, I saw. I'm not sure if I saw the intro, but I saw the one where you have the screen with the cartoon I think, on it, and it's awesome. I love it.
In the long run, I do want to make a version of the show that is like a cartoon show that's not a magic show. But in the short term, I'm like, you know what? This is like, creativity thrives under confinement. And right now, my confinement has been the past decade trying to keep it a parlor show. So I'm thinking that, and also like, maybe I should bury the lead on all this and not tease things that aren't official, but like, AGT, Britain's Got Talent, Star Search, they all want me on their shows from the viral video. But I don't want to go on.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I want to give them.
They chop people up on that show.
Well, I plan on really turning it into something that they don't want to just cut. They can't just turn a little snippet out of it and, chew me up and spit me out. I want to make a big thing that they're going to want to bring me back for multiple rounds for to see what's next and all this kind of crazy stuff. In the meantime, because I also want to build out my existing shows, I found there's this screen. Part of what made it lag is I had all these live cameras running through it. I was cutting from camera to camera. I'm like, you know what? The reason I did the cameras, I mean, first of all, it does give some nice close-ups of things. But aside from that, you don't want to just walk out of a TV and then just sits there for the show. So
right, yeah.
I'm storyboarding right now, little bits. There's all these, anytime that something goes behind the curtain, something should happen backstage. And we're actually working, this is a spoiler I will put out, is that we've already done a character design for a cartoon cat that lives backstage. And I keep not even knowing what I'm doing. I keep screwing with the cat. So every time I toss something back there, it like lands on the cat. And it's like some things that happen to me are because of the cat now, because the cat has a vendetta against me. So it's going to become like this whole Tom and Jerry situation, except it's just me unknowingly making a cat mad and it's coming at me. So at any rate, in the long run, I mean, maybe this show will involve that cat. There probably might be some other characters involved, but I think I might still be a magician, even as a cartoon character, because of this box I put myself in out of necessity. But once again, that's where you want to have a box to be creative within, because if you can do anything, you just are paralyzed sometimes. You don't know what to do. So that's my answer to the cartoon pilot.
I don't even, dude, I'm going to be honest. I don't remember what the question was. So for California.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the rapid fire?
Yeah, rapid fire me.
All right. What is your guilty pleasure snack before or after a show?
It's not guilty, but I love seltzer water. There's nothing guilty about that.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Seltzer water is good.
What's guilty? I like ramen.
I don't know, like chocolate. I don't know.
I like ramen, like, because the sodium, my wife's like, what are you doing? Eating all this. I really like that's my snack. Any chance I get, I'll just make some ramen. I'll throw some stuff in it, make it all fancy, hot sauces and stuff.
I'm a fan. If you could perform for any historical figure, who would it be and what trick would you show them?
It's supposed to be rapid fire, right?
Rapid fire. I don't know if this is made for you, man.
Through the magic of editing. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I mean, would it be fun to like freak out Napoleon or something? I don't know. Oh, no. You know what I would want to do? No. I would love to, like, for instance, like Danny Sylvester got to meet June Foray, who is the voice of Rocky Squirrel, Natasha.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Witch Hazel. And that's really awesome that he got to meet her. And there's a photo of him stretching his tongue right next to her. I think I would like to do something for Chuck Jones. So Chuck Jones is the director of, most famously, all the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Yes.
And a lot of Bugs Bunny and all that stuff too. But yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love
or Tex Avery. I want to get all those. I want to get all the Looney Tunes directors in a room and perform for them.
That would be insane. What's one trick you wish you had invented? You pick one.
I mean, I like the ones should I talk about some of the ones I did invent?
Well, I mean, save those for your social media. We don't want to.
Okay.
We don't want to like. Don't ruin it here. We're too small.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, I don't know if I wish I did. Well, I guess here's what I should say is that I want everyone to be able to learn the Sylvester pitch. And it's not mine to sell his DVD. I want people to learn it. Had I been the one to invent it, I'd just be like, here it is. This is all the work on it. But I don't want to profit from it. I just want to keep his legacy alive. But that coin stuff I was showing you earlier, I mean, yeah, it's the best. It feels it feels, while I'm doing it, it feels like real magic to me.
Well, I've never seen a Miser's Dream in the hands. I mean, that's just that's so good. You did it without props, and it was fantastic.
Well, in the stage show, I put the bucket in the spectator's hands, and it stays there until there's only one beat where I even take it from them.
That's so good. I mean, that's a real thing for that would get a magician. I mean, just excited just because you see, I like Miser's Dream like as a magician watching it. I think it's great. I love the manipulation, and then you're doing it without the bucket, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, okay, I love that. I love that. Yeah, even
and it's
when
not
you know
the same coin.
Well, I hope not. All right, if you weren't a magician, what would you be doing today?
I'd probably be scraping and scrounging, working so hard to have a career in animation with so many other people that are so much better than me at anime.
When you're not doing magic, what's your favorite way to unwind? This is the last one.
Editing the videos of me doing the magic.
Fair. Yeah,
I don't unwind.
That's my hobby.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
The nice thing is you're getting people to watch it. Like I'll get like 10 people. I'm like, oh yeah, 10 people seeing this video.
It's all about just getting that muscle though. So I was editing just as much before they were watching, and I was posting reels every single day for years, even if they weren't watching. And that's
So
how
cool.
I mean, still, I suffer a little bit doing it still, but I'm actually able to continue doing it because I've been doing it even before,
Awesome.
So keep going, keep doing it.
A massive thank you to Cuckoo, the cartoon magician. Go follow Cuckoo, the cartoon magician, and watch a living cartoon do magic in real life. And I will catch you next time. That was, Woo!
You got the words.
Outro. Got it.